how much of your performance is based off your mindset. To me, it's 100%. I like to have the range set up to where it's really specific to whatever it is that I'm trying to do that day. Do something accurate and precision, or I'm trying to work on movement. So like today, we're working on going fast. Yeah, so I was reading in a book a long time ago, and I read this analogy where, you kind of visualize a room with nothing in it. And in that room, though, is a bunch of balloons. And on the balloons are all the skills that you've got. So like in my shooting room, I've got, draw and reload and a long-range rifle, hundreds of balloons, right? And my job is to go into that room and train them and beat them, up. And but I only got two hands, so I can train one or two skills at a time. One thing to keep in mind is it's not training those skills, at the detriment of something else. It's training those skills at the detriment of everything else, because if I'm training one or two things, the rest of those balloons are falling down. So I have to be very careful and deliberate in my thoughts and my actions and what I'm choosing to spend my time with. And it allows me to understand that not everything can be at the top. And if I am working on one aspect of something, everything else is sinking down. So I need to know what level I actually need to train that to. But it allows me to focus on one thing, understanding that I'm not focusing on anything else. So it relieves the pressure of not doing those other things as well. So this place is really important for me and my wife. One, from the professional aspect of being able to do our jobs, and it really enables that with everything that we do. But also I really want the future generations. I want my kids to grow up around animals and growing vegetables and seeing people really working hard, not only professionally, but also, working with the land and raising animals and seeing the entire ecosystem of everything through a lens that may or may not get seen very often. I get asked about the mindset and the mentality of a lot of this stuff all the time, because I feel like that's kind of one of my strong suits. The physical side of it, we've all got. The top 10 guys are fully capable of doing anything, right? Whether it's hunting or business or competitive shooting, whatever it is. So if I can physically do something, it's kind of irrelevant if I can't mentally do it. The mental aspect of it is extremely important. So I focus on that first, because that is the determining factor of success or failure. So if 90 to 100% of your score is based off the mindset and the focus on things, how much of your resources are you leveraging towards developing that aspect of what you're doing? grew up hunting with black labs, you know, and now I've got these two guys, and I have just as much or more fun now with them as I ever did as a kid. Getting these guys out there and seeing them learn new things and challenge themselves and be a part of it. And then also, like, how do I get them to do what I want them to do in their way? How do I teach in a way that they can understand something that is healthy and gets them excited to be out there? I can get these guys to do whatever I want to do in a positive way. That makes me feel successful. Working on the mindset of physical endurance, you know, I try to do at least once a year, do something that I consider extremely difficult, physically difficult. That's not only like, you know, go out and run 40 miles or whatever. You know, let's get real cold and let's get real hungry. You know, let's make sure that we're still capable of doing those things. So, you know, the Army was obviously a big part of my life and learning and all that stuff. Also, before that, I was homeschooled, and that, I think, really attributed a lot to being able to do what I've been able to do over the years, because I was done way early in the day compared to most school kids, because I was just able to be a lot more efficient with it. And then that left me a ton of time to go work, and not only work at a job, but also be able to develop a set of skills outside of what kind of the normal flow of life was. And so I started working at the range when I was 14 years old and started teaching classes when I was 15 or 16. And it taught me how to learn, which I think is extremely important. So I was able to, was able to understand at a very early age, like, hey, if I want to be good at something, you know, all you got to do is, you know, read the books of the people who are the best at it, or, you know, go get that experience and learn how to learn what you want to know. And it's out there and people will teach you. You know, it just may not be brought to you. Like, you know, a lot of people feel like, you know, I'm supposed to learn this history lesson, so bring me the knowledge. Because you're supposed to, that's the way it's supposed to go. The information is supposed to come to me, not me go get it. So I think that was a really important lesson for me to learn. When I'm preparing for a specific match, my goal is to start 3 weeks out and to shoot 3 training sessions a day. Those training sessions may only be 40 minutes long. I've just found over the years, like, if I get much further than that, I start getting into kind of just repetition. You know, I don't need to do something over and over. I need to learn something each time. What I was finding was I would shoot a drill, I'd do everything right, but while I'm sitting there reloading like I am right now, my mind would be elsewhere, thinking about something that was totally unrelated to the task that I was actually there to accomplish. So 25% of my training time was just getting back into the drill. I started loading up all my magazines when I go down to the range, and now I can do something specific for as long as I need to without that distraction. And that allowed me to get a lot more done in a lot less time. Talking about all this mindset stuff and going through this class is really good, and it all does work. Sometimes I feel like kind of the expectation is once I've done this, like, I won't have these problems. And that's just not the way it is. You know, like, you're obviously going to always have struggles and things are going to be hard. And if it wasn't hard and people didn't have struggles, it wouldn't be any fun. So one thing that I try to keep in mind is that I do everything that I can to make it go right and everything be the way it's supposed to be, but fully accepting that that's not going to be the case all the time. And I just analyze the problem, come up with a solution quickly, and execute the best plan that I'm capable of executing in that moment so that I can achieve the result that I came there to achieve, you know? And sometimes it can get really, really difficult. And it's supposed to, because if it doesn't get really, really difficult, was it really worth doing? But their capabilities don't detract from my achievements, you know what I'm saying? So I can be successful and still have adversity, and that's not only okay, but it's to be expected, and to some degree, I feel like it should be welcomed, so.